Orthopedics, hip and knee replacements based on real life, actually retrieved specimens from living patients. This is a collection put together by me. Here we see a hip replacement from a 52-year-old man who had CDH, female, lasted 2 years. First hip was a Muller, this one is a non-cemented. Here we have a pin system that's used for inserting bioabsorbable pins for fractures. Here we show an AO blade plate used for fractures. Remember, these have all been retrieved from patients, have failed for one reason or another, or have had to be replaced when they're worn out. Here's AO femoral nail, slotted holes, screws at the top, screws at the bottom. There's a Huckstep nail. Here's a Huckstep hip replacement based on this nail. Huckstep shoulder replacement. Here's a shoulder replacement. Here is a Australian invention, a Hodgkinson tibial nail. Here's the Ostermoor implants. It's for unipolar hip replacements for fractured necks of femur since the 1940s. Very good, lacks rotational stability. Here's a bent blade plate, a bent after the fracture failed to heal. Here's a bent GK gross kept nail at 5 months and 21-year-old revised to AO nail and bone graft. They fail when the fracture doesn't heal. Uni-compartment knee replacements, very good. These are from the 60s and 70s, are worn. Look at the amount of wear. Again, uni-knee replacements with one common tibial shell. Uni-knee replacements. Here shows a broken polyethylene tibial component, part of a knee replacement. Look at the wear and tear. Here's a broken ankle component from an ankle replacement. And again, showing the wear. Here is a broken Muller stem, Muller total hip replacement. Sometimes the stems used to break from metal fatigue. You don't see that very often now. Here's a broken tip of a knee arthroscopy. You do a knee arthroscopy, keyhole surgery, tip breaks off. This is very bad, metal fatigue. Always check your instruments prior to putting them in. It took 2 hours to fish this out. It's very frustrating. Here's a broken uni knee replacement. See, metal fatigue. Here is a carbon spacer of Miller gland knee replacement, used to cause black staining of the joint synovium. Here is a cemented total knee replacement, side view, and here we have a ceramic head inside a polyethylene liner of a metal shell. Ceramic liner for a hip replacement, and here we have a Charnley stem developed by Sir John Charnley, and here we have a whole view of Charnley hip replacements, a classical with a round back, less of a round back, and here's a long stem for revision cases, various types, a standard Cobra round back. Condrotome blade used in arthroscopies to burr away debris. Close up view. Here's a plate, compression hip screw plate, the cleverest and most useful device in orthopedics for treating fractured necks of femur. It's simple, allows compression of the fracture in a controlled manner. Total hip replacement, hydroxyapatite. This is called the HG total hip replacement Harris Gallant. This one was revived to SROM, 67-year-old, 1995. Here we have the acetabular line. It has to be split up like this to remove it when it's worn. Here's a acetabular component with a metal liner. Here is a total knee replacement. The towel knee is revised to an insole burst in a 74-year-old. Here's a electrical stimulator implantable developed by an Australian surgeon, Dwyer, to stimulate or encourage bone healing. And here's the evolution of total hip replacements. The initial Jude implant plastic. It tended to generate a lot of wear particles. The Ostermoor, very good, from the 40s. The Charnley total hip replacement, slim, small head, cemented in place, and then the non-cemented varieties came in the 80s. Here you see the bone still in the mesh in the proximal part of the stem, and now we've gone on to resurfacing. Here's a revision hip system for MIS total hip replacement. It holds the shaft as you remove the old femoral component because the femur is thin and shattered. It holds it in one place. Fixation device, fractured neck of femur, old type. Here's a gripper cup of an acetabular component used to wind it into place. There it is in profile. Look at the sharp edges to wind into the acetabulum. Herbert screws, 2 different caliber threads on one screw for scaphoid fractures. Higgs total shoulder replacement developed by an Australian surgeon. A hinge total knee replacement. We don't tend to use these now because all the loads are transmitted to the implant bone interface, causing premature loosening. So you don't see these much now. Here's another hinged knee replacement side profile. Hodgkinson nail for the tibia. Again, the Huckstep ceramic shoulder and hip replacement ceramic spaces. They were a real innovation. The Huckstep ceramic heads, femoral heads. The Huckstep nail, square screw fixation for very difficult fractures. Humeral locking nail, it has 2 angles to be able to place it ideally. And here we see some tendon passes for doing reconstructive surgery for the flexor tendons of the hand. Fixation around a K nail. This K nail, after being in 5 years in patient, had to be removed. Charnley cut with the cement mantle over it. A K nail, Kuncha nail, developed by the great surgeon Kuncha from University of Kiel. A link curved femoral component, non-cemented, very good. A long compression screw hip plate. The fracture will be winding all the way down here, so you have to have a large femoral component. Long stem Charnley stem. Maltracking on patella component here. Look, it's worn through the plastic through to the metal back. There's the Milligalant 1. Again, a profile showing the wear and tear, the maltracking. The Marmor uni knee replacement. And here we see the McKee-Farrer total hip replacement, cemented large head, metal on metal. This is in the 60s, revised after 18 years. It was co-developed at the same time as a Charnley, and now we've gone back to metal on metal. A metal cup, a Milligalant 1 total knee replacement, black spacer, generated a lot of carbon staining. A Warwick Williams spinal plate. The cement mantle still around a Muller femoral stem, and again showing the wear and tear of the acetabular component. An old style fixation plate, an old style osteotomy plate, McMurray, when you did osteotomies of the femur. A PCA cup showing the bone, still bony ingrowth into the meshed surface. And again, PCA cup, again showing the bony mesh ingrowth into PCA stem. Again, PCA total knee replacement loose after 10 years revised. Here's a pin in situ for slipped upper femoral epiphysis after 21 years. Here it is at time of replacement or time of total hip replacement. Look at the bony ingrowth. This is part 1. Look out for part 2 in this series, please.